Gender equality has always been on the top of the list when it comes to burning social issues around the globe. Biological and psychological differences make it almost impossible to strike a balance between the two genders. Women have always been receiving the shorter end of the stick, and even with the brave challenges and fights women have made, some nations around the world still practice the same orthodoxical methods and have no regard for women's rights whatsoever. How's it going, folks? And welcome to Discover X. Join us today as we dive deep into the topic of gender inequality and uncover some bitter truths of specific nations around the world that do not treat women right and can be labeled as one of the worst countries to be living as a woman. If you are new to the channel, make sure you press that bright red subscribe button and have those notifications ringing for our future updates. And without further ado, let's get into the video. One of the major Islamic nations in the world, Afghanistan, has struggled to have a proper reputation when it comes to gender equality. You know the country has some serious problems when more than half of the population of the country is women, yet the majority of them have no right to formal education and barely get any employment opportunities. Now, these are the more technical details. The social factors that are more disturbing are that women in Afghanistan are not allowed to have names of their own. Yes, you heard it right. A woman cannot have her name. This is a huge identity crisis, and it emphasizes the poor situation of women in Afghanistan. Nepal is one of the smallest nations in the world and has quite a large population for a country of that size, and over half of the population are females. In recent years, there have been some efforts to elevate the status of women in Nepal, but this is only limited to the urban regions. The women in the rural region of Nepal face widespread social discrimination, and most of the female deaths are usually connected to the various superstitious activities and beliefs that the Nepali community blindly believes in. The country has a very low gender inequality index score, which doesn't seem to be improving at all. While the Parliament of Nepal does guarantee 33% seats for women, the women who are actually in the seats are treated like puppets of the male governing authorities, and their flexibility is restricted immensely. This has demotivated a huge amount of women in Nepal, which is why there are substantial economic gaps between the male and female communities. Saudi Arabia has never been known for its advanced gender equality. You seldom hear about a successful businesswoman or anything of that sort from Saudi Arabia, and that is because of the extreme discrimination against women. Up until 2018, women in Saudi Arabia could not drive a car, but that is only one of the many issues, as women in Saudi still cannot vote in elections. But listen to this, it doesn't end here. Women cannot show their faces in public and have to cover their entire body with burqa almost everywhere. Out of all the listed women's rights, it's safe to assume that Saudi Arabia has violated every single one of them at some point in time. Politically speaking, there aren't many nations in the world that have a lower feminine engagement in politics than Iran. Iran also has a record of disqualifying all female candidates from the presidential elections. But that is not the end of the oppression of women in Iran. The Guidance Patrol, aka Morality Police, is an Irani force that is in charge of arresting Irani women who are spotted violating the dress code issued by the Irani authorities. The dress code for women in Iran is the hijab, and they are instructed to wear this in every public area. The fact that there is an actual police force whose sole job is dedicated to violating women's rights tells you how far gone Iran is when it comes to gender inequality. While women in Jordan have a literacy rate of 85.9%, which is one of the highest scores in all of the Middle East, the nation suffers a major problem of extreme violence against women. The Jordanian government has some leniency in crimes like honor killings. Honor killings are crimes committed against a woman by her own family when the family decides that the woman has disgraced them. The director of the complaint office in Jordan, Diana Shalab, reported that 12 honor killings are occurring in Jordan per year. One of the more disturbing facts about Jordan is that according to Article 308 in Jordan's constitution, a person accused of rape or any crime of the sort could be excused if they agreed to marry their victims. Thankfully, this provision was taken down in August 2017, but it highlights just how dire the situation of gender violence has become. And then we have Mali, a country with women having an average life expectancy of only 48 years. In Mali, you will see the typical low literacy and employment rates in women, followed by the high capital difference between the male and female community. But this is not even the biggest concern for the women of Mali. A report in Mali suggested that Mali has no proper law against marital rape, and the government isn't performing well in avoiding rape cases in general. Because of this, Mali's authorities have not been able to intimidate the criminals and offenders in the nation, which has helped the rise of human trafficking in Mali. Human trafficking networks in Mali, who are known to sell women for slavery, especially the women of a young age group, move freely and do not need to fear the authorities, as the authorities are too busy creating laws against the female community. Pakistan is the home of all sorts of women's rights violations, with issues like rape, women trafficking, and almost zero literacy rate. While the Pakistani government does seem to put in some effort to minimize the discrimination and violence against women, they are all but futile, as most of these crimes are unreported and happen privately. Oppression of women inside the family has been one of the major causes for women in Pakistan to not have a strong awareness program against these discriminatory activities. The fact that almost every household in Pakistan believes that women should not have the right to formal education tells you how far behind Pakistan is when it comes to gender equality. Nobel Prize winner Malala Yousafzai was also a victim of discrimination against women in Pakistan. She was shot in the head by the Pakistani Taliban simply because she raised her voice against discriminatory activities and spoke in the favor of women's education. Malala did survive the whole incident and is now a top female activist and human rights advocate. This finally brings us to the last country on our list. Although India has a fair political system for women and in the developed parts, women have almost similar or even greater employment opportunities than men. This achievement pales to the dark truth India harbors. India has the highest rape cases in the world. On average, almost 90 women in India are raped daily, and the country reported over 32,000 rape cases in 2019. Rape in India has not been addressed properly by the authorities, and each day the situation seems to get worse, making India the most unsafe nation for women in the world. As the world is moving forward in almost every aspect, gender inequality must be addressed in every country on the globe. Women always had to fight for their rights. The Women in the Suffrage Alliance changed the voting discrimination 2 centuries ago in the US, and for sure, we have come a long way. But those women in Afghanistan, Iran, Pakistan, Nepal, Saudi Arabia, and India still live impossible lives. For women to run the world, as Beyoncé says, we need to act. Now. If you liked today's video, then don't forget to hit that like button and check out our video, How Israel Became the First Nation to Beat COVID-19. And before you leave, subscribing to the channel would be amazing. Leave a comment below with your thoughts about today's video. This is DiscoverX, and we will see you in the next video.